looky what we have here. The 1200 watt KickAss inverter. Now, I don't know about you, but I like to run some decent goods when I go out camping. Really make it glamping. So I'm going to install this today. I'll show you how to install it. It'll be easy peasy, and it'll look nice and snug up here on the 12 volt board. So if we have a look here at what comes with it, we get some 12 volt cable, good to handle 100 amps or so. Do not use more cable than what's provided. This is specifically designed to make sure there's no faults, under voltage, anything come through on the inverter itself. If you had it up against a metal surface, I'd recommend putting a circuit breaker in there. But for me, on the carpet wall, we won't need any of that. You get a few extra fuses here, a special little controller, which will show you why this is amazing later and why this is my favorite thing about the inverter. And then we get the 12 volt inverter itself. It's going to fit quite snug up here on the wall, so alright, let's get into it and we'll see how we go. First thing I'd recommend doing is getting the inverter into place. Make sure you've got enough cable to get from the battery terminals into the inverter, which I do if I face it this way, which does put it upside down, but I can fix that later and I'll show you how. Now, this works out quite well because it puts the plugs on this end so they're easy to access for me. And yeah, alright, so I'm going to screw it up and then we'll put the cables on. So I'm going to secure it in place with all 4 screws that I've got just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere when we go off road. But it's just about as easy as that, just like that. Now, in all honesty, that is the hardest part of the install done. It gets so much easier from here, you wouldn't even believe that it would ever be that easy for you to put 240 volt in your 12 volt setup. Now, you're not going to need many tools to do this. You need a socket, or even a shifter, spanner, anything that you can use to undo the terminals on the battery. And then all you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver to put the terminals into the actual inverter itself. So it's that simple. I'll do a little time lapse here of me doing that, and just watch as we go. When connecting up the cables, just make sure you get the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative. Reversing the polarity can cause some issues and void your warranty. So it's easy to remember if you just do black is the negative, red is the positive, and the same on the other ends, just like I have here. So that's the inverter installed. We've got the cables run in. All we have to do now is flick the switch on, and hopefully, if all went well, the inverter itself should turn on. Look at that, running in real time. Now that is unreal. So here we've got the battery voltage, we've got the output, 227 volts, and it's showing that the battery's full. Now, you may be thinking, oh, that's upside down, I can't read it. Well, they've thought of this. So, we turn that off. We come up here, and see this little switch? It says 1, off, 2. What this actually comes with is a spare controller. So now, I can mount the controller here, plug it in, and view it off the second controller. I don't have to worry about this. It's actually going to be covered up by my fridge. My fridge fits perfectly in this space, so I won't be able to read this regardless. Now we've got the second screen plugged in. Just plugs in with this data cable here into the inverter itself. We've got, if I flick it over to number 2, there you go. So now you've got the second screen on. You can run this anywhere you want. You can have your screen here, which I'm going to do because this is my main kitchen side of my canopy, or you can run it over to the far side so that when you're over there you can turn it on and off. Now all of my points are going to be down this side of the canopy, so it makes sense for me to have it here. So what I'm actually going to do is fit it into this little space here so I can still read it, and then put my fridge back in so I don't have to worry about this anymore. Now you do get a few spare fuses and bits and pieces here. Now they are good to keep in handy because you can blow a fuse.
It all up, and it looks pretty schmick. I don't know about you, but I really like this thing, and I think that you should jump onto the KickAss website and check out what they have to give. At the end here, I'll touch a little video of me running through Kmart, just picking up a couple of things and showing you what wattage they are. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. So just in the end here, I threw my Milwaukee charger in and just gave it a run to show you all that it was working. Powered up all fine and charged my battery. First thing I found was this bottle blender for 300 watts. Then I found this bigger blender that was only 500 watts. This sandwich press was actually able to be powered by the inverter. It was only 1000 watts. It took me a second to zoom up on the label there, but I found it in the end. I found a toaster. So the toaster, another thing that was under 1200 watts. Coffee grinder for when you're out and about and you need to grind up your coffee, because that's the most important thing, you know. This 20-litre microwave is actually only a 700 watt microwave, but you just need to remember that your batteries need to be able to handle this constant output as well. So I just thought I'd jump on here quickly and tell you how to work out how many amps you're going to use. So with my setup, we're working with 12 volt. You can calculate 24 volt as well. But say for the 700 watt microwave, the worst case scenario would be 700 divided by 10 for 12 volt, or 20 for 24 volt, which gives you 70 amps. Now, that is worst case scenario. If you wanted to calculate it fully, you'd get the 700 watts, divide that by 12 for the 12 volts that you're working with, and then divide that again by the efficiency of the inverter. So with the 1200 watt inverter, it's got a 90% efficiency, so you divide by 0.90, which gives you 64.81 amps. Now, that's what the inverter is going to be drawing from your battery when it's running at 700 watts. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you have the correct battery size. Your battery is capable of having a constant draw of that many amps on it. And just go out there and have some fun.